Hey guys, Jay-Games here again. This would be what if Luffy was son Wukong. I'm using references from all kinds of media that I can find, being like, there's a webtoon called Ordeal. I'll be using a bit of references from that. I'll be using God of High School, obviously. I'll be using the actual Journey to the West. I'll be using powers from different gods from God of High School, as Mori Jin does display the abilities to use either their martial arts or some of their powers. I'll be using just a multitude of media, so, yeah. Basically, in this one, well, Luffy basically ate a fruit called the Hito no Mi. I should have mentioned. This one, Luffy's older than canon. So yeah, but to keep his age consistent, when he eats the fruit, I'll make Shanks arrive in Fuchsia. I guess it would be, well, I guess the same time as in the same time in canon. It'd be 3 years earlier, so Shanks should be 23 when he meets Luffy. And Luffy will be 7 years old because he'll be sending to Ace and Sabo. This point, Luffy already knows Ace. He's met Ace a few times. Gokran gave Luffy the option to live in the forest or live in Fuchsia because, well, Ace chose the forest. Well, not Ace chose. Ace just wanted to live there. Ace just complains about it, but also doesn't want to live in Fuchsia. So, yeah. But Luffy got the option, and Luffy just chooses to live in Fuchsia. So, yeah. But he occasionally hangs out with Ace and Sabo just when he's bored. Or I don't know if Sabo would be here at this point, but, yeah. So, Luffy basically ate the fruit called the Hito no Mi, Model Monkey King. Or Model Wukong. Whatever you want to say. My version of translations, it would basically be like, how to phrase this? It'd basically be just, but it depends on translation, in my opinion, but it would probably be Wukong or Monkey King. So, yeah. And we'd probably fast forward to probably just like Higuma's guys trying to burst in. There's a lot less numbers because this is 3 years early. And Shanks' crew pretty easily beats them to a pulp with really no difficulty. Then eventually they would leave, with Higuma trying to chase them to sea, but was just getting eaten by the Sea King in the process, leading to the bandit group being disbanded. Then Luffy spent 3 years with Ace. 1 year they meet Sabo. Eventually they hang out, just being best of friends for a while. Luffy even found a staff, happened to be, well, if it was graded, it'd be Supreme Grade staff, because it has the ability to extend and expand. But not to like insane degree. At the best it could extend from going from like maybe like 3-4 feet long usually, to up to about like maybe it could extend maybe to. Never mind, Luffy's staff is about 6 feet long. So yeah, Luffy's staff can go from around 6 feet all the way up to roughly about 20 feet in terms of extending. Then its width is only in like inches. I don't really care. You can say like 3, between like within like 1 and 4 inches if you want to go that much. The staff can expand to roughly about going like goes like 1 to 4 inches all the way up to around 3 feet. So it can do pretty decent amount of damage, but it has to be really well placed. So yeah, and Luffy and Ace all use Luffy's staff to break into the Gold Kingdom and steal some stuff. So yeah. And then the 3 years would catch up. Well, they basically already live in the forest together. They've met Nagari and everything. And when Nagari moved his ship out, Luffy had the idea to actually, well, move their base operations into the cave that Nagari used to operate in. And they all thought it was a good idea. So yeah. And I'll like describe Luffy's powers, like a few of them and everything. So yeah. So 1, Luffy's image is Sabo. He uses a variety of martial arts, being Taekwondo, ITF, and Renewal Taekwondo. Renewal Taekwondo being something that Taijin Jin invented. He uses full contact karate, which is just a combination of all styles of karate in one, I believe. Or it's just their personal version of karate, I don't know. Then he uses Samsu Taekyon, which is just a martial art used by Ilpio in God of High School. His father invented it, I believe. Then before, ITF Taekwondo. Then he uses the Kusanagi style, which can be used as a sword style, I believe. So, yeah. And Luffy taught Ace and Sabo Taekwondo and karate. So, yeah. And basically, Luffy's very cheerful, optimistic, but also very analytical when it comes to combat or just situations that could lead to combat. He also loves to sleep because Morty Jin has the sleeping mask. Luffy also has a sleeping mask on his head as well. So yeah. So Luffy's often seen falling asleep, standing up, and everything. But he's very playful and honest, but he is very short-tempered too. But he's also decently intelligent, so it worked out. And he's also a bit taller at around the same height as Ace and Sabo, so yeah. But then for strength, I can probably compare it to that of maybe the kid Luffy strong enough to probably knock out a grown man 3 or 4 punches. Even at 7 years old he was, but now Luffy's 10 years old, but also physically just a complete monster. So he can probably take out, I'd say at the most as strong as it's 15 men. So yeah. So yeah, so he's just insanely buff. Not buff, but he's strong. So yeah. He has speed probably about that speed of a bullet, so His intelligence is pretty good too. He can take being stabbed and like he'll flinch, but it won't be like anything made to the point where he'll stop fighting because he's scared. No, he'll just keep fighting because it bothers him, but doesn't hurt him as much as it would hurt a normal person. Very good for that voice crack. So, yeah. Luffy's also very flexible and agile. And his senses and reflexes are on the verge to the point where it seems like hockey, even though it's just Luffy having really common senses, to the point where like his skin, like, every time wind blows, Luffy doesn't even smell it. He can just detect what animal or what humans, like their height, their hair color, everything. He can just detect everything about them just from the wind blowing their scent towards them. He doesn't even smell it. His skin just needs to make contact with it. Or his fur, one of the two. So, yeah. Flexibility. He's like Inosuke, but times 10. Like, Inosuke can put his head between his legs, Luffy can put his whole upper half between his legs. So, yeah. In terms of agility, he usually runs on, like, all fours and just jumps around like crazy. So, yeah. He also has claws. He also copy martial arts. So, yeah. Then with his analytical skill and knowledge of the human body, well, he also can hit pressure points insanely quickly and well, which makes him a really good massage therapist and a somewhat good healer as well. And his eyesight is that about good as an average hawk, but then we have Draco Mihawk who has eyes of a hawk, but also just really good hockey to the point where it's advanced hockey. Because there's really a theory that he can basically just see his opponent's potential and how they'll grow, which can lead just to the determining of his battle, which is why he let Zoro live. So, that's a theory. Then changes the whole thing is that he destroys people's power with it, or basically you can see their future power and just destroy them on the spot. Because he just sees everything they're going to do and just immediately just dismantles it. So yeah. One can see your potential, one destroys it. So, yeah. Yeah, also, Luffy is somewhat immortal, the fact that he has like a Viltrumite aging factor to the point where he can live thousands of years. Usual Viltrumites live like 2,000 years at the maximum, I believe. Luffy can live around 5,000 or so, depending on how much he advances his power. If his fruit were to awaken, and he's really well trained with the awakening, he can live for a lot longer, being probably tens of thousands of years, even at the most hundreds of thousands. Like, he's not immortal, but he has a really high lifespan. But he also will not age during the whole 100,000 years. But yeah. He can also read minds on a low scale, like, not low scale, but I think like mirrors his mind reading to like Anya from Spy Family. So, yeah. So, and Luffy can also absorb heat-based attacks and somewhat push away light-based attacks. Like, Kizaru could like get attacks through to Luffy, but if Luffy's fully on guard, he can push away some attacks, or just completely just redirect them away from him. He has a regeneration factor on a pretty okay scale. Not as good as like Deadpool Wolverine, but it's okay. So yeah, he has a typical zone healing factor. So yeah. Then he also can create healing abilities with his knowledge of pressure points. He's a natural master with the sword and staff. He can create barriers too. So yeah. He has a technique called golden pupils, which allow him to see people's energy flow, and also basically know all languages, but he can't speak them. Like, he understands what you're saying, but he can't like say whatever you're saying back in the same language. It's basically just voice of all things, but on steroids, or voice of all things, but it works on humans too. So yeah, these eyes also grant him somewhat near precognition. So yeah, but that's not as a kid. That's just in the future. He also has brief control over wind, as he can create like a small vortex within like a 30 feet radius or so. I'm not trying to make him super broken, but he will be broken in general. The Desire can turn into small miniature versions of anything he wants to, but they're usually small versions of him. And these small versions of him are about, like, I would say, like, hold up. Oh yeah, I had to look my notes and pronounce this. If I were to use just Oda's referencing it, probably just to actual like Japanese creatures. Luffy's the height of like Luffy's just miniature mini-me's are like full like Luffy's hybrid form, which is just him growing fur. Or some of them also resemble his full form, which he hasn't been in yet, but basically it's just it's not his full form, it's very similar. Like, his full form happens to be his awakening, but it's basically just his advanced hybrid form. That's like his four forms being normal, hybrid, advanced hybrid, and then his full transformation. Most of them resemble his advanced hybrid, which is basically just him in combination with a monkey, but also in combination with I would say basically just like combination with a monkey, but also in combination with a human. So like kind of human Z. but they're basically have red skin and everything, and then they have just long flowing gray hair. They have a bit of clothing as well that they also have small staffs that can extend up to around 5 feet. They expand up to 3 feet. And Luffy usually uses these for stealth and everything. And if he has more than 3, an ability is taken away. But if he has at least 3 out, at the most if he has 3 out and he meditates, he can see through all 3 of their visions, kind of like a path of pain. And if he has 3, his power is kind of just divided among them on a certain scale, or he can just give them all our power, making basically this power is split into quarters, being 1, 2, 3, then I the last remaining quarter. So it's 25, 25, 25, then I the remaining 25 there. So yeah. And then what else? Yeah, he has a flying Nimbus. Honestly, he jumped high and landed it was going into their cloud. Kind of grabbed onto the cloud, grabbed something so he didn't hit the water. But eventually, he grabbed onto the cloud, falling down with himself landing on the cloud. And the cloud, basically, the whole thing is you have to have strong willpower to ride the cloud. Just willpower. That's about it. So not everyone will be able to ride it. But they can still ride it to some degree, or they can just be under it, with Luffy holding them using a staff. So Luffy eventually will give him the ability to enhance his staff's weight, going from about it can go from about probably 5 pounds all the way up to now. Luffy's staff name is Mori. Mori, enhance your weight by 10. Then it goes from 5 pounds all the way up to 50. Or Mori, enhance your weight by 5,000. Then it goes from 5 pounds all the way up to 25,000 or 2,500, whatever. I'm pretty sure it's 25,000. But yeah. It's going to be really heavy in the hands of anyone else but Luffy because the staff is basically made for him. Then he can also try to do key-based attacks, which allow him to somewhat fire off key-infused punches. I mean, it's kind of on estimation on how he would use his key flowing techniques. Think of like Shang-Chi, but there's no rings involved. His ki just flows really well. So yeah, or his chi. I mean, he can probably fire off like an OG Dragon Ball series Kamehameha from Goku. It sounds like blow apart a ship. But not blow apart the moon, unless he's in his awakened form, which he can blow apart basically anything with his key-based attacks. So yeah. Then in his advanced hybrid form, he can actually kind of grab onto a lock, and the lock will just snap apart. So this is a special ability he learned. Also, just make it easier to break into buildings and steal things to get money. And these are a few more abilities, such as reality warp, physics manipulation, spatial and matter, mind, soul, and void. Warping or manipulation, but he's not gonna get those until he's not advanced in his awakened form. But yeah, and eventually when they're all 14, Sabo would eventually be contacted by Dragon as Dragon reveals who he is to Luffy, Ace, and Sabo, saying, I'm Luffy's father," and he explains what the Revolutionary Army is. Sabo says he wants to join it, and Dragon says he came here to get Sabo to join it, but says that he must ask Luffy first, as his son seems to be, basically just the one who's basically saving the kingdom slowly. As came to Celestial Dragon, trying to blow up a small ship that a boy was out on fishing, Luffy was going to intervene, going into his advanced hybrid form, and grabbing the cannonball with his foot, and throwing it into the ocean, and punching the ship almost in half, but he moved so fast that no one saw who did it. But Luffy saved the boy. And Dragon knows it's Luffy, that Luffy's the one doing all these good deeds, saving the Great Terminal, saving everyone, basically. So Dragon says, "Tell Luffy," and Luffy says, "Yes, Sabo can join, but he wants one thing. He wants some way for him and Ace to find Sabo, something would happen." Dragon immediately thought of a river card, saying, "All right, give me 1 month." Luffy's like, "Okay, sure." Then he basically gives him give me your toenails, give me this, give me so and so, your toenails, some of your hair. Luffy's like, "Okay, sure." Because it's weird, but him and Ace gave it over, and eventually Sabo would leave with Dragon. Eventually a month later, Kizaru would arrive with basically 3 pieces of paper. 1 piece of paper marked Luffy, 1 piece of paper marked Ace, and 1 piece of paper marked, one piece of paper marked Sabo. And basically, Luffy would end up taking this piece of paper, or 1/2 the piece of paper that was marked Sabo, and one half the paper that was marked Ace. Or just 1 paper that's marked Ace. So yeah, Sabo has his own paper that's marked Ace. But yeah, so Luffy has a Viver card for Ace. At least have basically a full card for Ace, have a card for Sabo because Ace has the other half. And Ace has 1 full card for Luffy, and Sabo has his own full card for Luffy. So he has 2 full cards for his brothers. Luffy ends up putting them in the band of his straw hat, thanking Kizaru, and him and Kizaru just wave goodbye. Eventually, the point where like when Kedosu like kept going back and forth to deliver like mail between Luffy and Sabo, well not Kedosu himself, like Crows would. Luffy eventually did ask for like the Mushi, and then him and Ace will learn how to use one to contact Sabo. But they are given like a wiretapping, an immune Denemushi that's immune to wiretapping, which is a white Denemushi. So yeah. So we go forward now on to just Luffy setting sail when he's 17. Ace was set sail as well. And Luffy has like his own journey, kind of being like on his own, kind of like fighting everyone. Point where he's like, well, I have a bounty of 50 million, but only for the Marines because I do good for the Marines, but I do bad for them at the same time. When he was like, I don't have like anything I want to do. I just want to be free. But Luffy eventually did join the Warlords because they did offer him paychecks. So yeah. When he joined the Warlords, he eventually gotten over to where Ace was on the island. Ace was shocked to hear that Luffy became a Warlord, but asked what Luffy did it. He says, paychecks. He says, yeah, you are really bad with money. Eventually, Jinbei had arrived, Jinbei wanting to fight Ace. Ace and Jinbei fight, and Luffy ended the fight halfway through, saying, yeah, this is gonna be too slow. As he stomps on Jinbei's head full force, making a giant crater, knocking him out. Ace has been fighting Jinbei for like an hour by now, and he's shocked that Luffy beat him with one blow. And Ace is basically able to use ornament hockey already as he fought Luffy just for like a sparring match. And Ace learned ornament hockey by just fighting a lot and discovered it by accident. Same for Conqueror, same for Observation. He kind of learned hockey by accident. And for the 5 days that Whitebeard takes to arrive, Jinbei actually got to know these three. Well, not these three, they're those two. And eventually realized that they're not bad. Ace is just arrogant and Luffy is just Luffy. But when Whitebeard arrived, Whitebeard had beaten up Ace, and Luffy fought Marco for a bit. But actually, at some point, Luffy had used his advanced hybrid form, using a bit of mini-me's to fight off like a lot of Whitebeard's crew. Then she threw a staff at Whitebeard, as Whitebeard tried to catch it, but Luffy used his limit, basically saying, "Oh, Morty, enhance weight by 15,000." I originally caught the staff before the staff would pull him to the ground, as he would just say, "What the hell?" Only for advanced hybrid form, Luffy kicked him, like just drop kicking him in the jaw, using ki flowing through his feet, and it sent Whitebeard basically flying through the Moby Dick. So yeah. This ever that Luffy kicked him off his feet, only for Luffy to pass out, as he used a lot of ki to fuel up the staff, but also used a lot of ki to send Whitebeard off his feet. Because Luffy at the ground, he just passed out, went back in his normal form, and eventually, well, they woke up on the ship, and Ace tried to kill Whitebeard a few times, but Luffy would to stop him or just detain him, so, yeah. But eventually, we go on to around 8 months before the start of One Piece. It starts in, I believe, I'm pretty sure Luffy's journey started in May, so, May, April, March, February, January, December, November, October, September. Alright, yeah. So around September, Luffy's 19, and he decided that he should leave on his own. Luffy's been doing a few projects, basically what Luffy's been doing. How do I phrase this? So Luffy's learned a few skills from basically all the Whitebeard crew. Being basically, he learned a few combat skills, few of them, just like strategies mainly. And basically, Luffy would he would leave, as he's a really competent fighter. He also learned a few skills to just take care of, he can take care of like gunshot wounds and everything, but illnesses are a whole different thing for Luffy. He can barely take care of those. But he's supposed to, because he won't hold them off by using chi and pressure points. He can hold it off until they get to a real doctor. So yeah. Or a professional doctor. Luffy also uses mini-me's as scouts. He also makes a really good human shield, but he doesn't really do that too often. So yeah. But eventually we also go on to Luffy. He also learned how to make clothing, where he actually made, these said clothes right here. And picture this as Luffy. Also, I cannot find the artist. I wanted to find the artist so badly. I cannot find them. A picture on Pinterest, the person who put it was a whole different language. I typed their name, nothing happened. It just took me to all their pins. I couldn't pronounce their name or anything. I couldn't find any link to anywhere else. So yeah. But Luffy looks just like this. The bandages, everything. The bandages cover up his fur, as the fur creeps people out. And Luffy has all this on right here, including the tail. And this is just his normal hybrid form. It gives him extra fur and a tail. So yeah. Luffy made those clothes on his own. He's also a pretty good entertainer thanks to Izo. He's also a good marksman and is a pretty decent teacher too. But eventually Luffy would just set sail on his own, as he actually also learned how to build a ship. And his ship is just completely massive, as he's been building it for the whole 2 years he was on Whitebeard's crew, or a year and a half he's on Whitebeard's crew with the help of actual professional shipwrights. even heading Water 7 occasionally just to go have the ship enhanced. But by the time that he would leave things on his own, his ship is roughly about 245 meters. Which is... Hold up real quick. Luffy's ship is 269 meters, so the size of the Titanic. And this is over 6.3 times the size of the Mary. And I think a little under 6 times the size of the Mary. It was a little under 6 times the size of the Sunny, which is about like I believe 50 meters in total. Sunny is like not Sunny. The Mary is like 42.5 inches, not inches, 42.5 meters, and the Mary is about like 50 something meters. Luffy's ship is over 200 meters, almost nearing 300. So yeah, his ship is bigger than Moby Dick. It's huge. Those words should not be together. My apologies for that accidental innuendo. But yeah. At this point, Luffy's all Water 7. He would sail back. And eventually leads to him all heading basically just through the East Blue and everything. And when he heads back in the East Blue, he heads all around the South Blue too. Also just spends time defeating pirate crews, as he actually was really pushed out as a warlord. But because Whitebeard's crew didn't get any higher bounties other than like allied pirate crews, but not Whitebeard himself. At best, they caught a few Marines and just shoot them away. But Luffy didn't really get a direct increase from his 15 million berry bounty. So yeah, so he's been at 15 million for over a year now, over 2 years now. Luffy just spent time defeating pirate crews, honestly going crazy. And because it's been over just 1 year still, Luffy is still qualified as a supernova, as more pirates are uprising, but they're not really having a high bounty. But he's like the 12th with the highest potential, being, well, so mine is Zoro, so the 11 with the highest potential. They have their eyes on him for a little bit, but that's about it. So yeah. But eventually we go on to just Luffy. By the time that we go on to like May of the actual beginning, it won't be like basically like around a week before Shelltown. So a week before Shelltown, Luffy's crew would consist of himself, Kobe, Zoro, Usopp, Bartolomeo, Johnny, and Yosaku. That is his crew. The fact that, well, he's on the East Blue, defeating pirate crews, defeating bounty hunters, basically defeating anyone that he could find that he thought was cool. Not cool, but anyone that he could find. If they were cool, he'd invite them aboard his crew. And these ones accepted. Bartolomeo saw Luffy fight Smoker at some point, and he thought Luffy was a god because just Luffy's chi-based attacks. So he joined Luffy like Luffy's a loyal follower. And so Kobe's the vice captain because Luffy knows what it takes. Zoro could be a good vice captain, sure, but the vice captain's supposed to follow up on the captain's shortcomings and more or less keep the crew in order, which Zoro would do through fear, not through actual directions. Zoro's more scary than actually good at giving directions to a crew, and Kobe is like the better one to do that. So Kobe's vice captain, and Kobe's in terms of just abilities. Well, Luffy is a captain, a strategist, and a human shield. Kobe is the vice captain, and he's a jack of all trades. If you want him to learn something, he'll learn it. He'll do really good at it too. And then Zoro is qualified as a swordsman and a captain's assistant. So yeah, that's about all Zoro has. But he's also a really good offense and defense. So yeah, so is Luffy and Kobe, but yeah. Usopp is basically the sniper and occasional fighter of the crew, but also a handyman. Bartolomeo is basically just the captain's assistant number 2, and he helps sell merchandise. Johnny Yosuke happens to be Zoro assistant, so like kind of just like they work under Luffy and Zoro. And they also happen to be sous chefs, or they can cook fish and birds really good, but that's kind of all they eat now. They also happen to be the ones who pick up groceries, and they can cook a few things too. But eventually at this point, they all head to Shelltown, honestly, just for a bit of fun. They didn't realize that there's Marines here. But while they're here, eventually Luffy would hear about what Morgan did to a few, basically just to a nice little island. And at this point, not island, but this nice little like floating restaurant. So as they walk through through Shelltown, they eventually find the yard where there's 2 men tied up. One man with a peg leg, and a very weird mustache, and then a boy in a suit with curly eyebrows. Luffy then says, what are they get in trouble for? Then actually Rico would tell them, like, oh yeah, the captain's son has a wolf that attacked me, and well, the old man with the peg leg helped save me from the wolf by kicking me in the face, and then the old man got in trouble, and then the boy with the curly brows came to help him as he yelled, he said, I think that the boy with the curly brows is his son. We just, oh, well, in case they're good guys, so I'll free them. As he's pulled out 2 strands of hair, and then thrown them to the ground as the girls confused until they grow into mini Luffys. But they're really small, to the point where they're basically almost like, but they're about like both about like a foot tall. So they can both completely just utterly run right over to about where where Sanji and Zeph are tied up. If you guys can tell, Sanji and Zeph it is, and Sanji and Zeph are both untied. Guys are wondering why they're here. Luffy took down every single crew in the east and the south in the span of 9 months. At least current bounty right now is around 50 million because he just takes down pirate crews so easily. And he leaves Marines alone because, well, honestly, just because the Marines would get annoying. So because he ignores Marines, they do give him a bit of credit for not fighting Marines too often. But if they like fire a cannonball at his ship, he'll block it using a staff and then he'll send it flying back at you. So, yeah. Honestly, he'll only just like defending his Marines and not like directly attacking them, because attack one, you have to fight a whole fleet in like a week. So he doesn't want to do that. Just save himself the trouble. So yeah. Sanji's ever wondering what these things are and tying them. And Sanji says they both look like monkeys. But Luffy's currently like meditating in like a barrel. Well, and eventually Luffy's like talking to one of them, saying, "This is the Delphoid ability. His name's Luffy. He heard about what they did, so he's helping them." But then they're both untied, and Luffy says, "Alright, go this way, go this way, go this way," so they're in an alley. And eventually Luffy pop out of a barrel as his two mini-me's disappear. Luffy holds out too close for them that seem like actually just their style. He treated them as they're now repaired, and Luffy even tending to their wounds, healing them. And what little pain they're still in, he would just hit their pressure points, making all the pain go away immediately. It's like, alright, good, you should be in peak condition for now. Just train yourself, or else the pain will just double by the time you're done. And they would just nod. And yeah, my answer earlier about Luffy wiping all the crews when Clue wasn't clear enough. Yeah, the Dressrosa can go basically anywhere it wants to, and it goes around the east constantly just to get more traffic. The Dressrosa is a bit bigger too. So yeah, so like Kizaru's kind of balling right now. But eventually they do end up they do end up basically, how to phrase this? I don't know. But alright, so basically Luffy would have ended up like, I would say probably just, fuck. Alright, I don't know. But basically, Morgan helped us see that the 2 captives they have were freed. Eventually, Luffy had to use mini to just explore the base in which he had found on Ripper. And Ripper's currently was at his hand saying, "We arrested an innocent businessman for saving a little girl. I feel horrible." Within the mini pie up talking to Ripper. Ripper thinks it's like a hallucination. Luffy just says it's a Delphoid ability. And then that makes it a lot more believable. So yeah. This Ripper and Luffy talk for a bit. And eventually with this, Mini Luffy and Ripper talk for a bit. Eventually, Luffy convinced Ripper to actually have all the Marines allied, and turning against Morgan, actually arrest him. As Morgan's like, outside, Ripper, where's all the Marines? Marines would walk out, Morgan's like, good. So he knows a bunch of marching in a cafe, Hannibal hit in the back of the head with just like a small wooden katana. It's not hit hard, he's pretty weak, so they kind of just tapped him harshly and it knocked him out. Before Morgan knows what's happening, well, suddenly a Marine from above was holding a giant hammer, with him over the head with it, not knocking him out, making him bleed heavily. All the Marines take turns beating him with the butt of their guns until he's unconscious. And with that, they tie him up. Then eventually they put him in a cell. And Luffy just applauds, saying, "That's really cool." And Zeph and Sanji "How'd you do that?" Luffy says, "Mini-me," as a small one appears in his hand. So yeah. When she's about to leave, saying, "Johnny, yes, did you eat the food?" They pull the food they have, saying, "Yep." And Luffy decides that that's only just fish and birds, saying, "Do any of you happen to be able to leave and become a chef for us? Those two need to learn how to cook more meals." Different thing, saying, "Kid, have you been in the Grand Line?" He goes, "Hell, I've been in the New World." And immediately Zeph says, "Sanji, go with him." Sanji's like, "Why?" Zeph says, "Well, he made it farther in the Grand Line than I did. This is way stronger than me by 100 times over, and that's farther than we can make it, even using the Brassier. Sanji, go with him. He'll lead you to the All Blue. I guarantee it. You're not going to get it here staying in the East. You're going to get it going with him. Go." Immediately, Sanji just is shocked that Zeph's so adamant about this, like that Luffy's been somewhere so legendary. Immediately, Zeph says, "But boy, how'd you get in the New World?" He says, "Oh, it's me taking off his coat, showing off his tattoo. That happens to be the Whitebeard insignia, which no one has seen on Luffy." Immediately, Zeph's jaw just drops, saying, You were on a Yonko crew." He just nods, saying, "Yep, Whitebeard." He puts it back on, saying, "But I'm kind of covering up right now because I want to make a name on my own. So yeah, well, I was one of his strongest, and I was a candidate to become a division commander, but I let my brother have it, which he hated that I let him have it. But I guess I'm strong. Definitely tell Sanji saying, go with him, definitely. He'll make a path for you to the all blue. Like he'll make a literal pathway for you. He'll clear it out by himself. Hell, if allies will. He has over 1,000 men that are willing to help him. Can you say that about the Brock? At this we have 50. Sanji is shocked, but would just nod, saying he'll go with Luffy. So yeah. And no one's sure that knew that Luffy's part used to be part of Whitebeard's crew. So yeah. And if you guys wondering what division Luffy was in, Ace and Oden were in second division, but then when Ace became the commander, Luffy was moved to the first division under Marco. So yeah. Or after Thatch died, I would guess actually no, Thatch died before Luffy even, or he died after Luffy left. Never mind. So yeah. Like he died like a week after Luffy left. So yeah. But next Sanji would join as the chef, captain assistant number 3, and yeah, he's also the main offense mainly. He plays okay defense. But after they stay around for a bit more before finding Orangetown. While they're here, Luffy finds a pirate crew that he hasn't chased out before, Buggy. Also, he's chased out Kuro's crew pretty easily. He chased Kuro off of the island with help of Usopp. So yeah. While they're here, Luffy just proceeds to basically beat the dog shit out of Buggy's crew respectfully because he can. By the time he's done, Buggy's on the ground holding his stomach, clutching as Luffy's like a front kick, just like directly to it. But eventually Luffy actually talk to Buggy, saying, your crew's pretty big, and it's pretty impressive. Buggy says, before you say it, hell no, I'm not joining you. I'm not joining under anyone who has that straw hat. Luffy says, you Shanks? You've just been part of Roger's crew too. Only Buggy's whole crew and Luffy's whole crew has their jaw drop, saying, that idiot, Roger, is gonna just pass out immediately, it's like a gag pass out. So yeah. But he says, wait, how do you know this? He says, I used to be part of Whitebeard's crew. He shows off the insignia, and immediately his jaw drops. Buggy's does, because not many people have that. Like, you have to be like special to be granted permission to get the Whitebeard insignia tattooed on you. And Buggy says, how special are you? He says, I don't know, a candidate to become a division commander, I guess. But I let someone else have it. Buggy immediately says, please don't kill me. And Luffy says, I'm not going to. I don't kill. It's not my thing. I'll do it if necessary, but it's not my thing. But Luffy says, you have a pretty good ability to gather people around you, I can tell. And half these people are, not half, all of them are fooled besides 2 of them. How about this? Be part of my grand fleet. But he says, what do you mean your grand fleet? He says, well, fly my flag, don't fly my flag. But if I call upon you, and when I'm in danger and need help, you come. Simple as that. But he says, please don't make me your first call. He says, if I don't find anyone else, you're my first call. But if I don't have anyone else to call, you'll be an option. Well, if I have someone else to call, then you won't be the first option. And Buggy just nods, saying thank you. So yeah. Note that Buggy agreed to be part of the other Grand Fleet, and they all leave. Next up would probably end up being Nami joining them. You saw when he's part of Whitebeard's crew, and knew that this guy could take on Arlong if he was part of Whitebeard's crew. So yeah. Next up, you tell Luffy about Arlong Park. They head there immediately, and they just proceeded to destroy Arlong Park disrespectfully. It is just complete and utter destruction. Brother Mance used a giant barrier and shoved everyone just into walls. Some just use guns mixed in with Firebird stars and everything. Ronnie just teamed up and took down Arlong themselves. Arlong Park is just in chaos. But eventually they do leave, and Luffy decides to redesign Arlong Park in a matter of 5 minutes, using just hundreds of mini-me's. By the time it's done, Arlong Park restructured is as Luffy says, calls it Monkey Park, Monkey Park. And immediately everyone's like, okay, cool. And this is kind of the base operation to the East Blue. Luffy tells Buggy what it is. But Buggy, if he harms the villagers, he'll kill Buggy's whole crew easily. So yeah. On with this, now they head over Reverse Mountain, being a few days early. Probably even a week. Probably even a week early at the most. So yeah. Alright, so they head over to the East Blue around a week early. And then they Crocus everything. Zoro already has his two Kitetsu the Third and Yubashiri. As they head over Reverse Mountain, they Crocus everything. And they do go past Pixie Peak because Luffy knows what it is. He's been there a few times. He's beaten everyone there easily. He actually shoves himself by there to get Zoro sake. As he's leaving, he's confronted by Vivi, Igaram, Miss Monday, and Mr. Nine to get Vivi to Alabasta, and Luffy just agrees once they tell him what for. Then on their way to the Little Garden, they would find Mihawk, and Zoro wants to fight Mihawk. Luffy offers to fight Mihawk because Luffy's met him once or twice, and Mihawk just because Luffy and him are like, they're not like, Mihawk doesn't trust Luffy, but he quote unquote likes him more than likes the other warlords, because Luffy isn't loyal to the Marines. He's loyal to his bank account. So yeah, this could be actually a bit of respect towards Luffy. He would fight Zoro for him. Well, this Zoro would lose, so Luffy pretty easily heals him. Well, heals him what he can do, from what he can do, and allows Zoro to be as good as he could be from a normal doctor. But they are going to stop by Drum Island on their way over. So yeah. All right. Now Kip was Little Garden, where they kind of chill out there for a bit, and eventually they meet Dora and Broggy too. Luffy's met them a few times as well. Luffy doesn't think having a giant on his crew would be fun, so he would invite Dora and Broggy to join his crew. And with Luffy's boat being made to fit them both, they say, sure, but only one can join. Only for Luffy to jump in the air, basically just punching them both in the face full force, knocking them both to the ground, saying, alright, you're both lost, both join. So yeah. We should annoy them, but they eventually just join Luffy's crew, so yeah. With this, as they join Luffy's crew, well, eventually, Luffy's going to fit the two giants, and then Luffy would just use old scrap Jolly Roger ideas to actually use as blankets for them, so it works out. But Luffy also spent all the time making winter clothing for them as they get to Drum Island, so yeah. Let's say Drum Island's cold isn't nearly as cold as Elbaf's winter, so it doesn't really matter to them. So, well, with this, Zoro's sent to a doctor. They eventually find Dr. and Chopper though, and well, as Luffy's here, well. Blackbeard arrives and just tells Luffy what happened. Then the Ace killed Thatch, but Luffy knows that Ace wouldn't kill Thatch and says Blackbeard did it. Blackbeard's like, you said you catch him quick, you're an idiot, but you're a good one. so this Luffy and Blackbeard would fight. Luffy fights Blackbeard's whole crew as Ace being treated by Dr. and Chopper. As they're in Waffle's castle right now, and Luffy's below at the peak at the base of the mountain, or the pillar, whatever it is. And with this, Luffy and Blackbeard crew fight. Luffy beat all of them, but by the end of the fight, he's just covered in blood and passes out. So yeah, Luffy was the one not fighting, as he was watching from the sky and gets them all in their boat, and they leave. Immediately, an hour later, Ace had gotten here, but Luffy already got them so far away. With this, Ace wanders around looking for Blackbeard, only to find Luffy unconscious at the base of the pillar, and covered in blood. But also, he did most of the damage from on his side. There's not much damage done. While on the opposite side of Luffy, there's chaotic damage done. So yeah, this picked up Luffy before bringing him up to the mountain. As Luffy woke up a bit, pointing up. Ace brought him up there. Find out Luffy gets treated by Dr. and Chopper. And he woke up pretty easily after being treated. Then he heals himself just naturally. And Ace who'd you lose to? He says, oh, I thought T teaching his whole crew. T said you killed Thatch. But I said he did it. He's like, yeah. He said, yeah, I'm an idiot, but I'm a smart one, I guess. I don't know how that works. And Ace says, yeah, he killed Thatch over Devilfort. And Luffy just sighed, saying that wasn't a good thing to do. But pause. All right, so let's really go on now to I'm probably go on to just now, probably just Alabasta now. Yeah, they're actually the same time as Ace went with them to Alabasta. And Ace is just shocked to see how much the ship has been decorated with Luffy's crew now. He's also shocked to see just two giants dancing aboard with the ship not even budging a bit. So yeah, let's run Broggy on Alabasta. On Drum Island, we're able to get clothes properly made for them that can fit their size for heat and for cold weather. So Alabasta, they're doing pretty good. And they kind of follow Vivi around from the shadows. And if you're in trouble, they just step in and defeat any trouble that they have. Or Dory would. Broggy's with the other group. But yeah, then with this, Luffy and Ace hang out the whole time. The rest of the crew do their own thing. Then eventually came to Luffy versus Crocodile, which, would actually end in Crocodile's misfortune. As no one besides Ace knows, or besides, none of Luffy's crew know this. Well, Smoker does, and Bartholomew does too. Luffy can use armament hockey and observation and conquerors. He's been using it for the past 2 years. He's pretty okay with it, actually. He's pretty decent, actually. This Luffy, in terms of just hockey skills, about as strong as Luffy is on Dressrosa. So, yeah. Luffy basically just punches basically just put out on the face once, and just knocked him on his ass from the impact, and he was just down for the count. So, yeah. So someone like Trucker like impale him, but the wound heals pretty quickly. So yeah. After each crippling defeat that Luffy has, or actually crippling injury, his healing factor would heal a lot. It goes in 100% faster. He didn't like defeat the hands like Blackbeard's crew, but he had like a few small cuts. With how many cuts he had basically had to heal, he's like got like a bit quicker. Plus, he can heal himself too. So with regeneration plus his healing ability, he's able to fully recover. So yeah. When Crocodile defeated, Luffy eventually just used a dynamo machine called the Marines. As when they arrive, Crocodile's just arrested, which would boost Luffy's bounty significantly. As the bounty goes from about 50 million currently, all the way up to about 130 million, which Luffy takes. But they do fight him, and Luffy beats them all also a pulp, which did attribute to his 30 million that he gained. So, yeah. And because he's such a ace, his bounty is also just part of that too. So 145 million now. But then his crew just wipe out the numbers across their journey. As Zoro fought Mr. 1, and Mr. 1 went in for a slash, only for Zoro to almost just cut him in half. Almost, but he didn't. So Silverfinger tried to fight Nami, but Johnny Yosuke stepped in, and they both beat her with pretty good techniques. But they did both have holes punctured through their swords. Kobe had fought Mr. 2. This was a pretty hard fight, but he did it. He used Sanji's black leg style in combination with Taekwondo and Karate. So, yeah. One thing is that he doesn't have Sanji's ideals. So Sanji's like whole thing. This Kobe can compete with Canonical Sanji, but with no morals against hitting women. So this Kobe had like no qualms hitting Mr. 2, no matter what he looked like. So yeah. Sanji in this one had fought Mr. 3's wax boxer and everything, and was actually able to beat him with just like despite how pressed he is about how durable Mr. 3's wax boxer is, and Miss Golden Week tag teaming him too. Well, Nami eventually had him swap opponents as she created a giant diversion, which actually disguised him was still Golden Week. But Sanji was actually able to use Rubble to defeat her without actually hitting her, which he did realize, which he's like happy about. But Nami had to use a basic lightning tempo, blowing a hole into a wax boxer, and Sanji would kick him right out of it. So yeah, it was a time for Sanji to be distracted and Mr. 3B to be distracted too. And then Nami could charge up her good attack, which can defeat him. So it worked out. Usopp had fought Mr. 4, which went to missing canon, I'd assume. But other man was like able to catch a few of the attacks and throw him back at like double the power. So yeah. So it helped a decent amount. And yeah. Then he helped Chopper as well, so he didn't get scratched up. Dory and Broggy honestly just completely intimidate the warriors, just stop fighting. And when the Brokeworks try to attack, Dory and Broggy points out that they're not actual part of the guards or the revolutionaries. So they're going to turn on like the ones that are part of Brokeworks and they die. And they thank Dory and Broggy for saving them. When they come to the bomb, Dory and Broggy can put their hands around it and just kind of crushing it. Then it blow up. Actually, it doesn't blow their hands off, but it does give them really bad burn marks. That's about it. But Luffy's able to cancel out their pain, use pressure points, and then he heals them. So, yeah. And, yeah. Now, they're about to leave, but Luffy does convince Vivi to join them. And Koba's like, well, Vivi, if you're going to join them, you need a guard. I can trust that they'll always be with you. So, Pell will join her. So, Vivi and Pell join. Vivi as, the voice of reason. And then also as a scout. And Pell would be Vivi's guard and an instructor. Well, Vivi also tells, Pell to guard Nami if he has a chance, but yeah. But then Pell also acts as the scout as he flies, Vivi rides on top of him, and they both scout ahead for people. So yeah. But yeah. Then also Robin and Bone Clay join because Luffy likes them both. So yeah. And well, basically just Bone Clay and Robin. Robin is the archaeologist, and Bone Clay kind of guards the occasional fighters of the weakling trio. As Chopper, Vivi, Chopper, Nami, and Usopp. And then, they're also common fighters. They fight strong guys, but not like the right and left hands of Yonko or warlords. Like the ones that would fight like Sasuke and all that. So yeah, common fighters. So then eventually with this, we go on now to Jaya, which is a pretty chill arc, honestly. They find Cricket, Luffy heals Cricket, and then eventually is able to bring him Skypia. Skypia is a pretty chill arc, but even when it came to Enel, Luffy beat Enel with just some one-simple punch with armament hockey, and that took him out for the rest of the arc. Hell, Luffy just told was able to find Enel in seconds. Luffy can sense it around the force, he can smell it around the force. Luffy can find Enel easily. Like, he smelled enough from the moment he arrived in Skypia. He found him. Like, Luffy ran on all fours for 30 seconds. 30 seconds, found Enel, and one-shot him. That's how the arc went. So, yeah. And with that, Enel's guys are all defeated. So, yeah. They never had a chance. And that's probably the end of the arc with Cricket being part of the crew, and Wiper. Because Wiper's honestly impressed by Luffy, so, yeah. Next up would be Enies Lobby, which probably goes the exact same as in Canon, in my opinion. Usopp isn't beaten up. Usopp is a bit stronger because Luffy does train Kobe, and everyone else would join in on Luffy's training with Kobe. So Usopp's actually able to beat up the guys after they're trying to rob him, but he'd come back with a few small slash wounds. Then Frankie came back to get the money, but just got beaten up by Luffy pretty easily. But instead, Luffy robbed him. So, yeah. And then Luffy used a bunch of mini-me's to rob Frankie's whole hideout of everything they had. And, yeah. And with this, we're going to go forward again. So probably the next part being like, well, probably just Enies Lobby now. Which honestly, a complete wash with the Straw Hats. They'll train with a hockey user who's prepping their bodies to use hockey. So this arc is honestly just a complete wash. Instead of Luffy fighting Lucci, well, Luffy instead fights off the whole Buster Call that Spandam called out of fear for Luffy because he's part of Whitebeard's crew. And Luffy beat the whole Buster Call alone. He didn't really need help with it. With this, Kobe is the one to fight Lucci, and with him being just a lot more skilled and actually awakening observation hockey. And when Roku Ogan's about to hit him, Kobe pulls out a knife, stabbing Lucci in the tail, almost cutting it off, which would make Lucci yell in pain. With now Lucci being distracted, Kobe will grab a bar, pulling it around Lucci's neck and like bending it to the point where Lucci just being like, strangled by default, and Lucci eventually does pass out. But Kobe passes out on top of him, just from being cut and stabbed so many times with Lucci's fingernails. Zoro fight Kaku, but you would just use like just one the two sword tells all it takes to beat Kaku. Zoro had also knocked his observation hockey mid-fight and didn't need much more than two swords to beat Kaku. It wasn't that hard, honestly. Sanji fought Jabra still, but you just use one simple blow to the chest, which took him out for the rest of the fight. So, yeah. Nami fought Khalifa still, so he's like, oh yeah, Sanji can fight the woman, Nami, you attack her. So Nami immediately joined from the start, and with her skills in combat and everything, it went pretty well with Vivi helping her using Peacock blades and everything, or Peacock like blades or whatever they're called, I forgot. But Vivi's able to bind her so she can't use the bubbles, and then Vivi just cut her pretty badly. And then Nami's like, oh well, like Thunder Tempo, and then defeats her for the rest of the arc. Pell would help Frankie joining Yosuke against Fukuro. Fukuro's not that strong, he's just really quick, but so is Pell. So Pell coming down from the ceiling, and as he hit the ground, Frankie's like, oh, well, here's like the iron fist thing that I can launch on my arm. And it knocks Fukuro into just a wall. And starting Yosuke with twin spin their blades, saying, oh, double onigiri, or double singular onigiri. They will both launch the attack, as the whole wall basically cut to pieces, or blown apart, with Fukuro hitting the ground unconscious. Then Johnny Yosuke just fist bump, as Johnny had lost his blue jacket a while ago. Please come to shirtless. So Yosuke, and they're both just completely, utterly jacked, and it just looks amazing. So yeah. Dorian and Bragi handled Oimo and Kashi pretty easily. So yeah. And Bragi had helped Luffy with the Buster Call, helping him block the cannonballs and everything. So yeah. And then Robin just beat up Spandam with like Bone Clay, and they just beat him to a pulp just for fun at this point. It is glorified assault with what they're doing to Spandam. So yeah. And why is just like oh yeah, forgot to mention the roles for Wiper. Oh, and Cricket. Cricket is the mythologist of the crew. Like he helps them with like local myths and everything, and see if they can find some fantasy place. Wiper is their sniper, their demo man, and an assistant handyman to Usopp, or Usopp is now his assistant handyman. So yeah. So Cricket is on just on top of just the building for Enies Lobby, blowing apart ships that are coming from its backup. So yeah. Cricket is shocked at how strong the Straw Hats are. Mainly Luffy is punching apart ships with just one fist, or is using his tail to basically hit ship once into the shockwave that blows up the other half of it. So yeah. By the time the Buster Call's done, Luffy's current bounty would rise to 340 million. So yeah. Next up would probably be like post Enies Lobby, or post Enies Lobby where they meet Garp and everything. That was trained by Garp the whole time, and Garp dished off with a lot of skill, but then two more people would intervene, which shocks them. Suddenly, Luffy's hit in the face by an ardent hockey infused staff as he's sent flying into a wall. The Smoker thought that the attack had landed. Smoker, obviously, he's the one Marine that uses the staff that's notable. Only the rest of Luffy had blocked it with his palm, and she asked Luffy how long he's been using hockey, and Luffy says for nearly 2 years now. Smoker can't use his low-level hockey to surprise him. The Smoker, when he's playing with hockey, Garp just picked up him and Tashigi and training them with hockey to beat Luffy. So yeah. Tashigi had attacked Zoro using observation, but Zoro just pretty easily blocked her strike with one, like the hilt of his sword, then sent it flying into the ocean, saying, she can go fetch it. We're going to say, oh no, my sword, but Sanji dove in, catching it for her, saying, you're welcome. Sorry for Mosshead. As he just smiles with hard eyes. But as soon as he emerges, Johnny Yosuke both hit him in the face with a punch from both, like Johnny hits him in the temple, well, Yosuke hits him in the jaw, and Sanji do a full 360, calling him a fool for helping the enemy. But Luffy says, anyone who's a friend of his grandfather is not an enemy, they are simply just doing their job. This is Luffy and the Bound and Garp, who are saying that they'll be taking their leave now, but if Garp wants to fight, they can fight. Luffy immediately kind of got on the flying Nimbus before going into advanced hybrid form, and his staff is up to a length of around 20 feet, as Garp to smirk, and Luffy basically solo Garp's whole group pretty easily. The first attack Luffy had used is just called Gong Pa, which is just him clapping his hands together, using a bit of chi, that makes you make the air reverberate and hurt everyone's ears. And Luffy's like, oh, arang, which is just hungry wolf, and I believe in Korean. And Luffy sees to just use a bunch of not unnamed techniques, but just a bunch of martial arts to basically decimate Garp's whole group. Oh, bake do, bake knock, bobop, things, just random techniques to easily just take down Garp's crew, which is just Marines. So yeah, Luffy's using just martial arts to take down Garp's whole Marine group. All that's left is literally just Garp, who's almost immune to these techniques with a better hockey skill. But eventually Garp's like, you beat my whole group, you're strong enough to leave. Then Garp will surprise him with the giant cannon thing. But Luffy just isn't fazed by this, he just pulls up his staff, saying, oh, Morty, expand. Then it expanded so wide to the point where it's basically just a glorified pillar now. And actually kind of stopped the cannonball in its tracks, then Luffy just did to expand, and it flipped back on Garp and started oh shit, we're gonna die here. But then Luffy just extended the staff more, smacking the cannonball into the ocean, not wanting to hurt Smoker, Tashigi, Garp, any of them. He didn't want to hurt them. So yeah. Now with this, they eventually get to the bark, where this arc would happen as they have Brook with them. And Luffy says, alright, fine, Brook Shadow, leave so I can just sink this place. As they get a new ship, it's not in bad condition. No, some parts just need to be replaced. But Frankie's like, hey, I have this spare atom wood, and it can fit on your ship. So let me take apart some of it so I can repair it. So Doroggy, oh yeah, we can help you because we're pretty okay shipwrights. With this Doroggy, Frankie, and a surprise guest, Kaku would help rebuild the ship. Luffy realized Kaku was fired, but Luffy told Kaku, your skills are good, we need a shipwright, join us. And I will personally protect you from the government, I promise you. Kaku felt a bit ashamed of this, but he would join. So the Luffy ship went from a full 269 meters, now to a full 300. So, yeah. Pause. Okay, where was I? Okay, so Thriller Bark's pretty easy arc. Zoro being hunting down just Moria Shadow, Brook Shadow. They found Ryuma, and when Ryuma tried to use Notch Slash, Brook's like, oh, Zoro, watch out. When Ryuma instigated it, he shucks that Zoro was hit by it, but Zoro wasn't affected by it. Which shucks Zoro as well, so he looked at his chest, seeing that there was no mark on it. We saw a purple aura dispersing, and he just smirked, saying, I finally did it. Zoro just appeared behind Ryuma, and Ryuma was like, you used hockey, didn't you? Zoro says, he didn't know it, but he did. And he thanks Ryuma for helping him awaken armament in the battle. As he's covering his back, just killing it, I guess. As he catches Shunsui, he got Shunsui, as he actually would put it his not pocket, but back in the sheath, and just tells Brook, let's go. Zoro would just yell that the fight's over, and immediately everyone just began running back to the Sunny. So yeah. Back in the Sunny, Zoro oh, is the battle over yet? And Luffy says, yeah, blow it up. The little screw himself and he's like, alright, I don't care who you guys are, get on the boat. They all gather around on the Sunny, as immediately they kind of shoot the center of they shoot the center of their bark, sinking it, and all their shadows come back slowly. But with all the shadows returning, now she Lil's crew will find their boat, get back on it, and they sail away. So yeah, and they do get the Viva card. Luffy just thinks, saying, oh, thinking Viva card, he pulls out his own, seeing aces, and just smiles, saying, so he's still pumping, huh? Good. As they ask Luffy what these are, and Luffy talks about what a Viva card is. It's like, hey, speaking of Viva card, he immediately got basically just a Viva card, and before he's kind of like a giant one, basically, as he's been building this one for himself for a few years. And with this, he's been cutting it to pieces, not years, few months, since basically January. Now it's like probably October or something. I don't know. Luffy cut apart the giant Viva card. It's not like giant, but it's a piece of paper that's probably like the size of. And if I were put it in inches, I would say like 40 inches. So it's some pieces from everyone, like big enough for like people like mainly big enough for Dory and Broggy, mainly any of them. So yeah. With this, as soon as I get their slices, like, oh, thank you. And he's like, if we ever get separated, these are going to find me. And if you guys want to come find me, this will bring us all together. And basically, if it burns, that means I'm dying. So be careful. And they would just nod. So yeah. And eventually, he also can reveal the Viva cards to the whole crew. And like, okay, cool, we have Viva cards for each other. Then how they have either made them, he says, believe it or not, fingernails. And they're like, how do you have fingernails? They're like, you guys all just, I'm the one that does the laundry. How do you think? And there's probably just doing their blankets and shit, just dismantling it. But yeah. But as they're about to leave, well, Kaku would point out that Pearl's on the boat, saying he'd smelled her a while ago. Pearl reveals herself, saying, yeah, she doesn't want to die, so she hopped on their boat. We didn't mind, saying, who cares? There's enough room. As they sail around, Pearl realizes that their ship's actually pretty fun. It's nice, unlike Moria's. So she kind of holds Luffy in the same regard she holds Moria by the time they get to Sabaody. She calls Luffy, oh, Luffy-sama. Just happy to see him every time. So yeah. Alright. So this we can probably go on a bit more forward to Place Sabaody now is they're like almost a whole 2 weeks early. So they're out there for a bit, how they should be repaired. But then, well, eventually every single supernova will arrive with Luffy's new bounty being published at 390 million. And the supernova's like, oh, so that bastard's been here already. They also have Kami, Hachi, Papago, whatever his name is, Starfish. And they've been getting on with everyone pretty well, actually. So yeah. But before we get into the two timestamp, I'm going to go over everyone's just roles in the crew. Luffy, captain, strategist, and a human shield. Kobe, vice captain, and jack of all trades. Zoro, swordsman and captain assistant. Sanji, chef, captain assistant number 3. Nami, he is navigator and occasional fighter. Usopp, sniper and occasional fighter. And handyman, or assistant handyman. Bartholomew, he is the captain assistant number 2, and he sells merchandise. So the main source of income. Yosuke, they're Zoro's assistants, and they are the sous chefs of Sanji. And they also pick up the groceries and anything that anyone wants to buy. So yeah. Dory and Broggy are basically the guards of everyone, and they are also apprentice shipwrights for Frankie and Kakaku. And they also act as instructors for battle tactics that Luffy occasionally helps with. Pepper is a doctor and an occasional fighter. We have Vivi, who's a voice of reason, and also a scout. Pell is Vivi's guard, and Nami's guard, and an instructor, and also a scout. Robin is an archaeologist and a common fighter. And Bone Clay, who is a guard to the occasional fighter, and he's a common fighter like Robin. Cricket is a mythologist. Wiper is the sniper, the demo man, and the main handyman. As he built Nami a much better climb attack, from basically it's about as strong as the one that she has post-time skip. So yeah. But the thing is that it has a lot more dials in it, and even especially made dials that Wiper got his hands on after experiencing a few new materials that he found on the Blue Sea. So the stronger dials are put into Nami's little staff, or the mechanics for one, allowing her to have much stronger climb attacks. So yeah. On Frankie and Kaku, they basically, they're both shipwrights, they're common fighters, but Kaku would specialize in espionage too as a spy, alongside Bone Clay. And then Prono's kind of like an addition to the Coward Trio is now the Coward Quartet. And Brook is a musician and a common fighter. So, or the assisting fighter, more or less, not a common one, but an assisting fighter. So yeah. Now as we go on, probably just to, everything going pretty similar as a canon, honestly. But when Kizaru had arrived, Luffy began fighting Kizaru, and in the middle of the fight, he unlocked Future Sight, actually. So, yeah. In the fight, he saw Kizaru kick Summit. He's like, oh, I see Kizaru can kick me, I can't dodge it. Only for him to flash back in reality saying, that wasn't like him, that wasn't him actually kicking me, it was me seeing that he's going to. So when Kizaru did the attack, Luffy was able to dodge it and punch Kizaru in the side full force. Or attempt to, only to have his punch shot by some invisible force. He's punched in the face by Kizaru being sent flying backwards. He lands on his feet though, and just use a barrage of attacks using martial arts. One main attack that he used is basically just called ground drawer, which is basically just digging his toes in the ground and for kicking all the rubble in the air as he spun. But then just did a barrage of kicks that didn't land, but then he would do one kick that did land as he just yells Blue Dragon's kick, send Kizaru through the air. Only to be hitting the chin by Luffy's staff, and then really ran up the staff, kicking Kizaru into the ground. As the Scrooge proceeds to kind of decimate any nearby pacifistas, saying, do what you can to get the pacifistas away from us, only for them all to be separated by Kuma. So, yeah. Yeah, so basically, Kobe isn't sent flying anywhere. Actually, no, Kobe can be sent to... Never mind. Kobe isn't sent anywhere. He's just beaten up by Kuma and arrested. Zoro sent flying to Muggy Island, Sanji Kamabaka Kingdom, Nami, Witheria, Usopp is sent to Boyne Archipelago, where Bartholomew gets sent flying. I can't think of anywhere for him to go, so he'll stay behind. Joining and Inosuke Muggy Island, Ren Buggy is gets sent flying to Boyne Archipelago as well. They can hone their strength here, so they can hone their strength through duels and learn better hockey. That's from what they've been learning from Luffy. Chopper gets sent flying to Torino Kingdom. Vivi and Pell, Vivi gets sent flying to Witheria, and Pell gets sent flying all the way over to the Torino Kingdom with Chopper, because of giant birds. Pell's a bird fruit user. Robin gets sent flying, and Bon Clay gets sent flying all the way over to see the Wolf, where Bon Clay pretty easily cleared it out on his first 5 minutes there. As him and Robin pretty easily just destroy it. It's not that hard for them to do. Cricket gets sent flying all the way to an area with Nami and Vivi. Honestly, just because it's mythical. So, yeah. Or actually, somewhere else I think Cricket would have interest in is probably Raijin Island. So, yeah. Cricket would explore here, honing his observation hockey, trying to dodge lightning bolts constantly. Wiper sent flying to the area with Nami and Vivi this time, as he would hone his weather-based abilities and his dials. Frankie sent flying to Frankie and Kaku were both sent flying over to Karakuri Island, not Katakuri, Karakuri. They both sent land over there. Piranha sent flying to Muggy Kingdom with Zoro. Brooke sent flying Piranha sent flying to where Brook is, so the island with the Long Arm tribe. And now with this, eventually Luffy's defeated, and him, Kobe, and Bartholomew get sent flying all the way over to Impel Down, where Kobe's arrested, so is Bartholomew. Luffy's the one sent flying, so yeah. And Kizaru does why they spared these two. As Kuma already knows that Luffy's probably going to escape, but basically, not Luffy. Luffy's partner to get Impel Down and break everyone out, but he says, these two can be used for info. One has a good devil fruit, and the other one seems to learn skills pretty quickly. They can be of use to the Marines. Kizaru says, all right, whatever. As they bring them both to Impel Down. And when it came to the entrance test, I guess, which is torturing them, none of them a single whimper, a single noise. Bartholomew says he'll end any pain, knowing that Luffy's Sama will break him out. So yeah, they've been sent down level 6, where Ace would see them, as he's like, oh, what happened? And they talk about what happened. But immediately Ace chuckles, saying, no worries, you guys are safe. Which confuses everyone in level 6. What do you mean they're safe? They're in level 6 Impel Down, they're not safe. And currently their bounties consist of, Jacoby at 215 million, and Zoro 205 million, Sanji 208 million, Nami is at 70 million, Usopp is at 90 million, Bartholomew is at 290 million, John and Yosuke are tied at roughly about, I would say 100 million evenly. So that's all the bounties I had written down. But yeah, Luffy's crew is pretty stacked in terms of bounties. So yeah, but Zoro also, not Zoro, Ace wants to have the Vivre cards they have. They have Vivre cards that lead them to track Sabo and everything. And he's met Sabo once or twice on the base of operations for the revolutionaries. Kuma is a revolutionary. So even if Kuma wasn't fighting on their side, well, he's fighting on Luffy's side at least. Not on the Throughout side, but Luffy at the least. Realize that Kuma's a good guy and they're happy. And with this, Luffy, since his time here on Emerald Lily, pretty just actually probably same as in canon, just he doesn't eat poisonous mushrooms. And you hear he called out what Haki was as he flicked Market Air to pieces. He still fought the same as in Boa's whole arena, but he beat up the sisters pretty easily without revealing their marks. But when one of them did have their item of clothing come off that revealed their mark, Luffy just used mini-me's to cover it, and them both just to forfeit and get dressed. And they would do just that. So yeah. And with this, well, we'll probably go on to, I would say, probably just Luffy sneaking aboard on the ship for that Momonga has. But with this, Boa would have two guards with her, being, hold up. So she has two guards, being Margaret and Afalandra, and Thundersonia and Marigold are kind of just part of, the Kuja rulers, so they're allowed to come as well. And Luffy's currently hiding in the bra of Thundersonia, so, yeah. He doesn't mind it at all. He's blushing a bit, but he doesn't care about it that much. I mean, Impel Down, they wants to see Luffy's crew, and Luffy eventually took aboard in her robe. But then eventually, when it came to what was it? Domino. Luffy actually pokes his hand out of the Hancock's cloak before actually using hand sight into the Dennemushi. That made him say, "Oh, I can understand Dennemushi, and I'm asking a favor from you guys. Can you please shut off so I can save my brothers?" I gotta read that later. With this Dennemushi, because someone speaks the language and understands him, they agree and shut off all the cameras, and they can't come back on unless the Dennemushi want them to. But before Domino knows it, she's punched in the gut by Luffy and knocked out, and Hancock is fake being knocked out too as she runs away. And she sits to the ground as Domino passes out. She then runs away, saying, "Oh, there's escapee and Impel Down." But then immediately, as they rush in, Hancock would just lock them in, and they don't know it's Hancock. They think it's the escapee. Hancock says, "All right, let's go," and they would leave. And Luffy just uses mini-me's to trace Impel Down up and down. They find Buggy and everything. And eventually Buggy's like, "Oh, the mini-me's," and just follows them to where Luffy is. Actually, with this, he gets all the way to Impel Down level 6, where Ace is already gone, though. But Luffy finds Kobe and Bartolomeo is like, "Oh, Mr. Luffy, you came to save us." And Luffy just kicks open the cell doors, saying, "All right, let's go." And so starting to seem to be very serious, as he would put on he would use his advanced hybrid form. So yeah. So as he uses his advanced hybrid form, and he just go on all fours, running out of the building at top speeds, with everyone behind him. Outside happens to be just a lot of sunken marine ships, as Margaret and Afalandra are like, "Oh, Luffy, we have a boat that can fit everyone on it." And immediately, okay, good. They get on the boat, and they go all the way now to Marineford. And Luffy uses a Vibrio card to help them get there, as he's a pretty okay helmsman, too. So, it worked out. Jinbei helping them, of course. And Jinbei's even giving Luffy helmsman tips as they're sailing around. Luffy's even teaching everyone, basically a hockey on their way there. And Kobe originally, on their way there, unlocked armament hockey, alongside Bartolomeo, who unlocked that, besides observation hockey. Kobe now has observation and armament hockey, but Bartolomeo doesn't have observation hockey, he has armament hockey. So honestly, to enhance his barriers, that's about it. So Bartolomeo has just decent armament hockey, Kobe has decent observation and okay armament hockey, as he recently unlocked it, so, yeah. And Jinbei also unlocked it himself. Now that they get to Marineford, and they honestly just clear it out by Bartolomeo's ability with barriers, and Luffy's some Wukong powers. So yeah. Luffy having his fruit around 3 years early. He's had his fruit for about... hold up. Actually, never mind. He's had his fruit for, 30 years if you want to put when he's 10 years old. Now he's 20. He's had his fruit for 13 years already. If Ace were to die, he will not. But Whitebeard instead dies. When Whitebeard's corpse is pronounced, Luffy is retreating, but immediately just go into his awakened form. The awakened form basically just resembles you guys have seen Legends of Dragon Ball Tale. Luffy just looks just like that, how Goku's transformation looks. He's running on all fours, beating up every single marine in his path. He's basically now virtually indestructible, and can use his fire to his will. Here to create a flaming sword, or to almost cut Akainu in half. You can just make every single marine in his pathway. But eventually, Sengoku and Garp put him down. That's part of the harsh fight of their lives. As Garp's like covered in blood, dripping it, just almost unconscious. Smoker has his seashell staff on Luffy's head. Sengoku has like a shockwave ready to hit Luffy again. He's covered in blood, like basically Smoker, Tashigi, Smoker, Garp, Luffy, I don't know, Smoker, Garp, Sengoku, Aokiji, and a few like miscellaneous like CP0 members are in the middle of holding on Luffy. Eventually, Shanks did a rock to get him off Luffy as he woken up a bit because he can generate. He sees Shanks just smiling, saying, "Shanks, am I strong enough to give you back the hat?" Shanks just smiles, saying, "Yes, you are, Luffy." And Shanks then taking the hat, walking away, saying, "But now, fight me for the right to earn it back." As he ends up leaving, saying, once Luffy has the right to earn it back, it'll be Luffy's job to pass on the straw hat to the next generation. Luffy would just sigh, saying, "God damn it." As he passes out, Wolverine with Ace catching him. And eventually, they have a funeral for Whitebeard and everything with Luffy tending it. Then he heads back to, Sabaody, but with a few guests. Sabaody could bring back, with him, he brings Margaret, Ephilandra, Hancock, Sinatonia, Marigold, Ace, Marco, Jozu, Vista, Rakuyo, Haruta, and Izo. Brings them with them as he would spend his whole time training with them. By the end of it, they can all use advanced hockey. By the end of it, they all use advanced hockey. And really, it's like, I'm not teaching all of you. No, they all train in their own way. Luffy's a pretty good teacher, really doesn't need to teach them. He can try to occasionally just spar with everyone to see how they're doing, but Luffy's by far the best user of hockey, as he already uses advanced observation hockey. So yeah. In terms of observation, he uses it better than Katakuri does, or about as good as Katakuri does. Never mind, about as good as Katakuri does. So around 5 seconds in the future, and not just a brief premonition. He uses it as good as Katakuri does. For armament hockey, he can already use Conqueror's hockey coding, and Ace is in the middle of learning Ryuo. Or not in the middle of it, he learned Ryuo, he's in the middle of learning advanced observation. Well, then Marco can already use advanced observation and advanced armament hockey. So yeah. Then he's in the middle of learning invisible hockey. So yeah. You see, everyone here, well, not everyone, but basically, Margaret is learning Ryuo. Ephilandra is just learning hockey in general. She had picked up hockey around the same scale as canonical Luffy did. Hancock had learned Ryuo. Sabaody and everyone else had learned Ryuo. Ace had learned Ryuo and is learning Conqueror's hockey coding along with advanced observation. Marco is learning invisible hockey. Jozu is learning invisible hockey. Vista is learning invisible hockey as well, actually. Rakuyo is learning Ryuo. Haruta, Ryuo, and Izo, Ryuo. So yeah. And all of them are in the middle of learning advanced observation. It's kind of obvious. Everyone besides Marco that is, and Luffy. So, yeah. But with this, as soon as the crew reunites, they're shocked to see how much crew members they have now. This Luffy did the whole 3D2Y thing to everyone. I was just wondering if Sabo was at Marineford. He was not. He was held up. You guys want to know what I mean by held up? Simple thing is, he was busy trying to get a message to the Straw Hat saying, I assume they should wait this long because Luffy and Ace won't die in Marineford. But then when Whitebeard died, they got nervous, and Ace trying to get the Straw Hat at their destination. He's basically kind of keeping the Straw Hats put. He's like, God, if you go here, you go here. They're keeping the Straw Hats in the said locations that they were in. So, but right into the 2 years and 3 days, Straws all reunite. And the Sabo kept them in place. Luffy that's why he didn't show up at Marineford. That's why a few random revolutionaries did. So yeah. But Luffy's crew consists of himself, Kobe, Zoro, Sanji, Nami, Usopp, Bartolomeo, Johnny, Yotsuku, Dory, Bragi, Chopper, Vivi, Pell, Robin, Bone Clay, Cricket, Wiper, Frankie, Kaku, Perona, Brooke, Margaret, Ephilandra, Hancock, Sansonia, Marigold, Ace, Marco, Jozu, Vista, Rakuyo, Haruta, Izo, Masseduce, and Oars. That is Luffy's crew. I'm pretty sure it counts as 36 members so far. Come on, Luffy's ship is bigger than the Titanic. It can fit 36 people. Keep in mind that a few hundred of those are filled up by Dory and Bragi. So, yeah. And Oars, too. So, yeah. Oars is a bit bigger, so he feels like Dory and Bragi fill up a good 300 people. Well, individually, they fill up a good 300 people. Or, hold up. This is overestimation. Dory, I believe, would probably take up about 13 people. Bragi about 14 people, Oars about 38. So, yeah. I forgot that I was measuring them in feet, not meters. Or other way around. I said, oh, Dory 74 feet, 74 meters, not 74 feet. I messed that up. Oars himself is 60 meters, not 60 feet. I messed up everything. But I got that right. They took up a few people. They on the boat pretty well, actually. So, yeah. But the weapons take up a bit more space than usual. And Master Deuce, I know that is, he's Ace's crew's doctor. So, yeah. But actually with this we go on now to just Fishman Island, which is a pretty chill arc actually. When it came down to Fishman Island, it was a pretty simple arc actually. Like this one here met Shirahoshi and everything, but yeah, Luffy's done a few unholy things in the 2-year time skip, being with Margaret, Ephilandra, Hancock, Simpsonia, and Marigold, all of them at once, individually, 2 or 3, maybe 4. Yeah, Luffy's done a lot of things, and he's done to ask Shirahoshi about it, but he ignores his thought, and decides to help Shirahoshi's kingdom, which doesn't even do one. He beats Hody up in like a minute of meeting him. So yeah. There's your barking. My grandpa went to check the mail. My dogs are sad they didn't take them with him, so he's here barking. My dogs are sad that my grandpa didn't take them to get the mail. So ignore barking if you guys hear it. I'm sorry. All right. But yeah, so this crew had Fishman Island. It's a pretty simple arc. Luffy beat Hody up in a single minute. Then eventually would now end up being, first Jinbei would join them because Luffy convinced him, and his crew would just tell him, Jinbei-san, go. So he would go. Then we also would have just Punk Hazard's pretty simple arc as well. The Yeti Cool Brothers do exist, but they see ores and shit bricks. Then they see Dorian and Bragi shit more bricks, and then get beaten to a pulp by the 3. Then they kind of bum rush Caesar's base before slamming into it. Before Law is like, well, I forgot. You had a giant. We had 2, but then they have an ancient giant. He goes, oh yeah, that's Ors, that's Dory, that's Bragi. They're cool guys. And it's like, well, your crew even grew a lot more. So yeah. But eventually, yeah. So first, I skip over Perona. So yeah, Perona's on the crew too. Forgot that. But yeah. With this, we go on now to just, we really go on to just Punk Hazard ending pretty quickly. Yeah, this arc isn't really that hard, because simply just, Marco beat Caesar in seconds. Caesar was an opponent. But then eventually we go on to them getting all the way over to, we get to, I would say probably just, I don't know. I guess we can go on to, yes, Dressrosa, but that's a pretty simple arc too. But when Luffy arrives, Oars alone would attract attention, as he says he was part of Whitebeard's crew. Then Marco riding on his shoulder would attract attention, Dorian Bragi with him would attract attention. Attention is being drawn constantly. Hydrodine saw them and really just froze in fear of these 3. Knowing they're all part of one crew now. Some guy named Luffy's crew. But Luffy enrolls in the tournament as Lucy still, and beats up Hydrodine pretty easily, revealing who he is. As Hydrodine's like, "Are you Monkey D. Luffy?" He's like, "Oh yeah, you're Hydrodine. I'd assume. Well, not your Hydrodine. I know you're Hydrodine. I heard your name, but yeah." And Luffy's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Luffy." You guys wondering how easy fights are for Luffy's crew? Kobe uses pretty good hockey actually. Zoro uses advanced hockey. Hanji advanced hockey. Nami observation, pretty good scale actually. Usopp uses observation and armament hockey. Bartholomew uses advanced armament hockey and good observation. Ranyosuke, pretty good normal hockey. They're both individually about as strong as Zoro is in Dressrosa. Canonical Zoro, I mean. Dory and Bragi, they both use armament and observation hockey. Doing pretty good. Chopper uses armament hockey. Vivi, Pell. Well, Pell uses 2 forms. Vivi would use observation only. Robin, Bon Clay, they both use armament and observation. Cricket, he used observation on pretty high scale actually. His armament hockey is pretty good actually. It's okay. So yeah. Wiper, mainly observation. Frankie and Kaku, both use armament and observation. Perona, use observation. Brook, armament and observation. Margaret, Ephilandra, and all them, already said that. So, yeah. Jinbei, armament and observation. mass deuce, army observation, or army observation. So yeah. Also, when it came to Doflamingo versus Law and everything, well, with bare time, Robin came to the rescue and punched apart a meteor as he got close to the ground. So yeah, like she's used a giant fist, punched the meteor to pieces, and yeah. Then it came to just Fujitora versus a lot of Luffy's crew as he's being pushed back pretty significantly with how well they all use hockey. Like hell, Vista and Joes are pushing him to his limit. And Marco is currently with in the tournament with Luffy, not using double, but just pushing people around with just one hand. It's not that hard for him. So yeah. But eventually, when it came to Doflamingo versus Luffy and Law, Luffy versus Doflamingo, Law versus Treble. Marco appeared and just scared the hell out of Doflamingo. But Luffy hit him in the gut once with just a all out like chi infused punch. And not punch, but it was just honestly how do I phrase this? It was a punch, but I forget the name of the technique, which is making it hard to think of. All right, yeah, this was called. It was called. How did I just forget the name immediately again? All right, what's on my list? Sonic Punch. That's what it was called. Basically, just or Mach Punch, but Luffy just do a barrage of these using Ryuo, and these punches are traveling so fast. It seems that Luffy has just multiple fists. If you guys remember Infinite 100% Midoriya versus Overhaul, and how that has like the multiple fists appearing, Luffy basically just does that, but with Ryuo. Or Kankasaki Coding, I mean. And Luffy gets hit by one of them, he's already knocked out. Each punch just wakes him up. But then the fight was covered in blood, unconscious. Treble was pretty easily just beaten up by Law, who's running hockey from Vista currently. So yeah. Into the roles on Luffy's crew for Whitebeard's former commanders happen to be fighters, doctors, scouts, human shields, or just shields in general, clothing creation, entertainment, and teachers. Yeah. When she has Luffy's leaving, he would invite Kiros aboard his crew. Gets a bit hesitant, Luffy just convinces him, like he does everyone. But then Luffy would actually want some of his Grand Fleet on his crew, saying, Ideo, Hyrudine, Cavendish, or Lumbus, I want you all on my crew. And we're like, you want us on your crew? I was like, well, I can't abandon this Santa Maria fleet. We're like, you don't have to abandon them, they can join my Grand Fleet. I have Buggy on part of my Grand Fleet. Hyrudine's like, I worked for him about a year and a half ago. So yeah. So with this, Luffy's crew is honestly just stacked even more. In numbers, he has now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. 42 Straw Hats currently. And his ship still fits hundreds of more people. Hundreds, thousands of more people. Because the ship is bigger than Titanic now. It is massive. So this next up will be Zo, and honestly, this arc lasted about 4 or 5 hours at the maximum, instead of the canonical 1 day in canon. Honestly, because the Straw Hats are all expert hockey users. Not expert, but not all of them are expert users. But they're all pretty well hockey. This arc isn't that long. Wait, hold on. I forgot Sai. I forgot to say Sai's name. I put down the wrong brother too. I'm dumb. I put down his brother Boo. I'm stupid. Alright, Sai's part of the crew too. Yeah, then his brother Boo inherits the whole army. So yeah. So there's 43 members of the crew. Next up is Zo, pretty simple arc, honestly. And meantime, they're all just learning hockey to enhance it. By the time they get to Zo, they either all use advanced forms of hockey and armament and observation, or they all use armament and observation in general. So yeah, so they all do pretty good. And eventually, when it goes on, just Zo concluding with Sanji leaving, Luffy just has a mini-me attached to Sanji. There's no distance limit on the mini-me. It just depends on Luffy's energy. So yeah. Well, there's a limit on how Luffy sees through his eyes. But if we're to proof away, Luffy can get all the info that it has on Sanji and what it's been hearing and everything. So this Luffy's crew for Whole Cake Island would consist of Luffy's crew for Whole Cake Island. All right. Well, my pen got stuck somewhere. All right, got it. Hold up real quick. All right, so the crew that heads to Whole Cake Island: Luffy, Kobe, Sanji, Nami, Dory, Broggy, Chopper, Vivi, Pell, Cricket, Kaku, Perona. I almost said Frankie, but it's just Kaku out of the Kaku duo. So we'll start. Luffy, Kobe, Sanji, Nami, Dory and Broggy, Chopper, Vivi and Pell, Cricket, Kaku, Perona, Brooke, Hancock, Margaret, Sonia, Haruta, Rakuyo, Vista, Oars, Jimbei, who else? Kiros, Harudin, Cavendish, Sai, and Pedro. Those are in Carrot and Wanda too. That is the whole Cake Island lineup. So yeah. Now here Luffy does have a mini spot in Sanji. Luffy eventually got in contact with it. Like, he kind of looked forward to Whole Cake Island until he found like when they could find Sanji in, and let him basically sneak into the Germa height place and actually used all of his like mini-me's. As he basically like had the sun, like he has the Sunny with him. He's gonna put all this technology on the Sunny, as it's kind of just like right under the Germa hideout. They don't know it's there, but it's there. So yeah. Plus Luffy can understand the snails, so he convinces the snails to not just say anything and keep the Sunny out of their sight. He learned to speak Mushi. He spoke it already a little bit. He learned to speak it properly, and then can speak to all snails now, so it worked out. So yeah. So with this, he's at the Sunny docked straight under the Germa base, and then he kind of fed all the technology that he collected from the Germa into the ship. So yeah. But eventually used a mini-me to actually break Sanji out of his cuffs, and she let Sanji beat up his siblings pretty horribly. But like, he only beat up with Reiju, and Judge and Reiju both start to see Sanji beat up his siblings pretty effortlessly. And he says that these weaklings aren't strong enough because they don't use hockey. His bodies are strong through sheer willpower. So yeah. But eventually we can probably go on to just like, well, probably just them. It's like a whole revolution on each island. And what happened basically is Kobe had to fight against Daifuku and Oven, and Sanji had to fight against the whole Germa army until eventually Big Mom turned against them, and Sanji had to fight against, and it's like the siblings had he has to fight against the 10 twins, but there's 10 of them, half are female, half are men. And just fighting against that whole army, and they're just combined into one creature. Sanji has to fight that whole thing. But Dory and Broggy, the Oars, and Hydroding fight against Big Mom, which they do okay against, as they all can use pretty good hockey. So yeah. Vivi and Pell eventually basically focusing on like people fight rebelling against Big Mom's homies, which worked out pretty well. Chopper just helps injuries of civilians. Chopper's basically using this be like, oh yeah, we're pirates, we're attacking Big Mom, sure, but we want you guys to survive. Big Mom doesn't care about you. And villains like the Big Mom doesn't care about them, and she's not having doctors heal them. Cricket would eventually focus on evacuation and fighting off a few homies as well. Cricket also helps Dory, Broggy, and Oars fight against like everyone else there. Not even she had taken Napoleon. Had taken Zeus from Big Mom. So yeah. Kaku had fought against Cracker, but that fight was losing until Perona and Brooke stepped in, and they all three together are able to beat Cracker. Brooke's not slapped using hockey, but able to defeat all the soldiers, really into a Cracker. Kaku and Perona just basically Perona made Cracker weak. Then Kaku kicked him in the face, almost cutting his head off, or cutting his head in half, with just how weakened he was. And then Hancock, Margaret, and Sonia are all able to defeat just the daughters that Big Mom had around her. So yeah. Haruta, Rakuyo, and Vista are able to fend off a lot more Big Mom's kids, defeating a few ships and everything, like Snack and all them. Hancock herself had beaten Smoothie, by the way. Kiros refuses to cut down anyone in his way, as he also has a prosthetic leg. So yeah. And fucking Cavendish is just busy swooning some of Big Mom's daughters too, to continue to just leave him alone. Then Hakuba, as they turn around, would emerge and cut them down in a second. So yeah. Then Sai just proceeds to help using the Hoppo Navy, some small fleets to destroy Big Mom's territories. And Pedro didn't kill himself. So, yeah, Luffy saved him. Oh, you guys want Katakuri? Yeah, Luffy beat Katakuri pretty easily. So, yeah. Luffy beat Katakuri and told Katakuri he'd teach him a technique that Big Mom wouldn't dare teach him because it'd make him almost as strong as her. He's willing to enhance Katakuri's strength if he's willing to just admit that Big Mom was a bad person. Katakuri eventually just submits to Luffy's words and said, yeah, his mom sucks. He agrees. So with this, Katakuri would go with Luffy as they all leave, and Pedro would go with them all the way to Wano. And Luffy just basically teach Katakuri on like Kankosaki coding and Ryu. Well, first Ryuo, but then Kankosaki coding. So yeah, because Luffy beat Katakuri in like span like 30 or so minutes. Wasn't that hard of a fight. But as in Wano, it is a pretty good it was a pretty good arc, honestly. And Ace already has Yamato on his side. So yeah. So Yamato already has Yamato's already on their side. Marco helped free Yamato. So yeah. So with this, eventually they have everything that they need. So yeah, we'll have everyone that they need. And they do Kaku as like espionage when he gets there to actually disguise himself as like one of Kaido's troops. Oops. Or like basically like he applies to become one of the Tobiropo. And who's who already recognize him as someone who's in like Cypher Poles. Kaku says he was a candidate to be in CP0, but he hated the government, so he left. And that was a pretty good story. They set it all up and everything. So yeah. So Kaku, Kobe, and that's Chopper. Not Chopper. Kaku, Kobe, and Bone Claire are basically just sneaking into Kaido's whole base operations. And Luffy even has a few of them sneak into the prison to pretend to be prisoners, and they free Kid in the meantime. So they free Kid and they free Kawamatsu too, and they're also able to get all the supernovas. I mean, all the fucking scabbards back on their side. Pause. All right. So basically, with this, we can go on to probably just. We can probably just like the breakout of Udon Prison, where that goes pretty simply, honestly. Bone Clay just pretended to be like one of the soldiers that pretended to be one of the Tobiropo that he was. And eventually, when it came to that, he's able to get Queen to say, "Oh, fine, you're a pretty trustworthy guy. I like you. You're pretty flamboyant. You can be in charge of the prison." Then under that rule, Bone Clay broke his cover and freed everyone that he wanted to. Because Kid wasn't really a top priority prisoner, and he didn't really leave his cell, and no one really fed him besides like a few select prisoners who gave him food just because they liked him. Well, by the time it was revealed that he was gone, Queen was already back in charge, and Queen, they thought Queen let him escape under his nose, even Kawamatsu. So King was like, not King, Kaido was like, God damn it, Queen, you're a disappointment, you're a failure, all that. So yeah. Anytime Pedro convinced Zunisha with Momonosuke's help to come to Wano. So, yeah. But we're going to play just the raid on Onigashima. Where Luffy just gained control over his awakening again. It's when the first time he used it, he forgot everything and didn't even know he awakened. But he has full control over his awakening form. So yeah. So his awakening powers are all completely stacked out. Kid and also all the strats have awakenings now. Not all of them, but the main double fruit users all have awakenings. So the ones with awakenings. Luffy awakened his double fruit. Zoro awakened his Kankosaki coding. Sanji awakened his cyborg abilities. Bartolomeo awakened his body no mi. Then go on to Chopper, who didn't awaken anything. Pell awakened his fruit, as a lot of them basically be triple his normal size. And his hybrid form is now just him himself like a bird, but he's a lot bigger and hits hard. He used to say all around stat boost. Is the best way to put it. Robin awakened her fruit. Bone Clay awakened his fruit, allowing him to basically just create clones of some people he's fought. Bone Clay basically just twice from My Hero Academia. Just a lot stronger. And Robin probably has awakened her fruit, all allowing her to beat basically anyone besides Queen, King, and Kaido easily. Not easy, but she can beat them all besides King, Queen, and Kaido. So yeah. Who else? Hancock awakened her fruit, to the point where just some people stone and the stone began crumbling immediately. Instant Sonia and Marigold awakened their fruits, allowing them to be a lot stronger. Ace awakened his fruit, allowing them to use blue and white flames. Mark Arson was already awakened, same for Jozu. Who else? I don't think there's anyone else besides Katakuri who's already awakened user and Yamato who can awaken her fruit, I guess. Other than that, everyone else who's named has their fruit awakened. So yeah. The only awakened user of their fruits. Well, first it was Luffy and Yamato versus Kaido. And these two combined are pretty easily be the method of Kaido, and like Luffy using his basically just his awakened form, and Yamato using her hybrid form. They're pretty easily able to give Kaido the hand and almost knock him out immediately. Katakuri decided to fight Big Mom on his own, actually pushing her to her limit. But eventually he had passed out due to weaker stamina, and Big Mom's like, "Oh, no, I'll kill you for betrayal." Only for Kid and Lana to intervene and kill her. Oh, not kill her, but they defeat her and heal Katakuri. That's how strong Katakuri got under Luffy's tutelage. As strong as a Yonko is, but he doesn't have as much stamina as one. But his strength, his speed, his intelligence, all have matches a Yonko. He just needs better stamina. That's about it. Well, endurance, or pain tolerance, you want to call it that. But yeah. The Yamato are pretty easy at giving Kaido the work and beat him. So, yeah. It's by the end of like 15 minutes. All of Onigashima is just in shambles now. Kobe decided to fight Who's Who, but Kaku intervened. Kaku beat Who's Who on his own. Zoro fought King, and Zoro already used Conqueror's coding with Enma and just cut Queen almost in half. And then One Slash just defeated him immediately. Sanji will fight Queen, just one swift kick to the gut, sent Queen out for the rest of the arc. Nami basically just fought Big Mom's whole ship that would arrive. Like, she brought all of her homies, like all of them. Like she brought every ship that she could to Wano. And Nami she's one attack using Zeus and just sank half the ships immediately. Why Attack does wonders. Usopp beat Who's Who. He beat Page 1. This is a hard fight, but he still did it. But then they're gonna grab Ulti by the face and just threw her into when she was being listed in the air, so Luffy and Yamato beat him. But as soon as Ulti charged toward the man, he just said, "Dinosaur, huh?" Put his hand in her mouth, lifted her up, and just threw her straight through the eyes of the skeleton into the ocean. He says, "I guess the dinosaurs aren't strong after all," and just walked away. And just cut down some filler, being basically just they cut down who was it? Pero. They cut him down pretty easily. Another hard out of a fight for them. Dory, Bragi, Hydrodine, and Oars are all usually just as a group and a team, and they basically just jump and surround just a few marine vessels that arrived, and they just destroy the marine fleet that arrived. Like this is like a Buster Call times 3, and these two just use their shield, slam into each other, and the marine ships are all just completely decimated. So yeah, like they all just high five. Dory can't quite reach it, but he tried. But eventually Bragi like there's only one hand, and they just high five as a group. Bragi can barely reach, but he can do so. So yeah. Then it comes down to basically just Chopper versus Queen for a bit, but didn't go on too long. Evie and Pell usually just combine, and Pell will put down cutting a few Big Bomb ships in half, and it led to him and BB versus Smoothie, which they actually won in the span of 3 minutes. Pause. All right, so basically, what was I? Oh yeah, Evie and Pell cut down a few ships. They eventually fight Smoothie. They win. Robin half fought like Maria, while Brooke and not Brooke and Clay. Robin fight like Maria's whole group on her own, and she's a awakened user now. She does pretty good actually. So yeah, and Bone Clay just used like a horde of just clones to beat down Kaido and Big Mom's troops pretty effortlessly. Wasn't that hard honestly. He's pretty strong and awakened user. Cricket just beat down a few homies with really no effort. Page 1 got back up, but he got kicked in the spine by Cricket at lightning speed and just got taken down for the rest of the arc. So, yeah. And Wiper proceeded to charge up was just one giant bazooka that has the force of a nuke in just one shell. And he hit just the whole marine fleet that tried to come back for backup and just sank them. Or was like, "Oh hell yeah, I'm stronger," and just applauds himself. So yeah. And yeah. And Frankie and Frankie just fights Sasuke pretty easy, but flipping him on his back and not even using his Frankie Shogun. What he just does is catches catches Sasuke, puts him in the air and slams him, and just uses Haki to barrage his face with punches for 3-4 seconds, and then takes him out for the rest of the arc. Yeah. Perona and Brooke kind of team up, just cutting down anyone in their pathway for a while. So yeah. Margaret, Aphilandra, Hancock, Espinotonia, and Marigold. They can do whatever they please. So yeah, Hancock can turn a lot of people to stone, and then everyone else just cuts them down. Ace, Marco, Jozu, Vista, Rockio, Haruta, Izo, all of them, they kind of fight CP0 and they win like the span of like 30 seconds or so. They're not going to do much. And Master Deuce is just hanging out with Chopper most of the time, just making sure he doesn't die. Jinbei didn't fight Who's Who. Kaku did, and Jinbei kind of took down like Who's Who's, I guess, like allies. So yeah, Kiros, Ideo, Hadrudine, Cavendish, or Lumbus, they're busy just sinking ships and just destroying things. So yeah, Pedro fought against Tamago again, or Tamago, whatever the guy's name was, and Pedro pretty easily beat him. Katakuri was what he was doing. He was fighting against Big Mom. He almost won, but passed out. And Yamato was fighting against Kaido with Luffy, and they both won. All of this ended in like 45 minutes. It wasn't that long of a battle. They leave Onishima in Shambles. And as they leave, Orchard picked up a giant like ship and threw it straight through Onishima, sinking it completely. Whoever survives. But let's say for sake of it, the headliners, there's the Tobiropo, King, Queen, and Jack, and Kaido all survive along with Big Mom and her usual kids. So yeah. So we can probably go on a bit more forward again to, let's say, like, I don't know. I guess probably just the end of Wano. Would probably just be, like, the attack of Green Bull. But as soon as Green Bull arrived to attack, it was usually basically just the wait, hold up. Alright, so when Green Bull arrived, basically, it was basically the Scabbards, Momonosuke as an adult still, and Yamato fighting. Yamato being a lot stronger too. Next year, able push Green Bull until, well, Katakuri arrived. As he says, as Momonosuke says, no, Katakuri, I have this. And Katakuri's like, no, you don't. And I need moral redemption. I lost my mother, and I almost had her. I had her on the ropes. I could have impaled her and killed her. I had her on the ropes. I need redemption. So Katakuri basically ran in to fight against Green Bull. They're basically just a battle of equals now. Until he gets impaled through the stomach, and then, well, not dead, but he's defeated. So yeah. So Katakuri help beat Green Bull, and they win. And they leave. And the whole thing with like Momonosuke saying, no, I don't want you to leave me, Luffy. I don't want you to leave. That still happens. So yeah. Also, the new bounties are established for the main ones that I want to say. So actually, I'll like BSing bounties, except for like 4 of them. Luffy's bounty. The only get into the New World at 390 million, but now it's 4.3 billion, equal to Big Mom's. Then Kobe's bounty is 1.2 billion. Zoro, 1.205 billion. Sanji, 1.1 billion. Nami, she has a bounty of around 500 million. Usopp, 515 million. Then we have Bartholomew, 1.4 billion. Ron and Yosuke are tied for a bounty of roughly about 600 million or so. Then we have Dory and Bragi, who are both tied for a bounty of 630 million. Also, Hyruddin joining them. So yeah, Chopper has a bounty of around 50,000. He gets a bit more hype, but he still doesn't like the bounty. Vivi has a bounty of about 490 million. Because Nami has Sushi, he's a bit more hype. Impel has a bounty himself, 700 million. He's a Awakened Double Fruit user, a bit more hype. Robin and Bonclair are tied for a bounty of 980 million. Cricket has a bounty of 530 million. Renki and Kaku will share a bounty of 620 million. Gives them the bounty, doesn't care, honestly. Rona has a bounty of 400 million, exactly. Brooke has a bounty of 490 million. And Margaret and Afalandra share a bounty of around 800 million or so. Hancock, Marigold, and Sonia share a bounty evenly of 980 million themselves. Well, she's not Boa. Boa has a bounty of around 1 billion, just because her fruit's so strong. Then the Library Commanders, they share bounties of around 1.4 billion, like Bartholomew. Ace is higher at 1.77 billion. In fact, he's a weakened user too, but he also has Conquer Psychic Coding, so that's another factor. Master Deuce, a few hundred million, like also like Eudor Frankie or something. Who cares? Jinbei, 1.1 billion. And Kiros and the Strike Commanders that are on their boat, Luffy, they all have bounties as a Tyradine of, well, individually 730 million. Pedro, 700 million. And Katakuri, a bounty of 3.1 billion, actually. He must be Big Mom, but he beat Green Bull. That's a pretty high feat. So, yeah. And Yamato herself will join the Straw Hats as Ace, like, oh, you want to tour Wano? Because, like, you said you want to join the Straw Hats, but you want to tour Wano. We had a tour, you did everything you wanted to, let's go. And I was like, okay. Yamato's like, oh, yeah, fair enough. So Yamato herself has a bounty of 3.3 billion. So, yeah. Usually Yamato being a lot stronger than Ace is. That's a bit of an attribute. Plus, he didn't have any notable feats against Yonko. So, yeah. At the best, all he did was hold off King and Queen with the Whitebeard commanders. They could have beaten them, but then Zoro and Sanji intervened, saying they'll handle it from here. So, yeah. But next up will be them all leaving Wano. In Wano, basically, we have, like, Law taking the north, Kid taking the middle, Luffy taking the, south. Luffy is, like, about to, like, follow them all in, like, this most dangerous way. Because if we wanted to take it, Dory and Broggy hold the ship down, saying, no, we're going the sane way. And Orange just hold the ship down, too, saying, yes, the same, this is, like, the normal way, safe way. And then they go down the safe way, so Luffy's like, that's pretty boring. Yeah, but, well, fish. So, yeah. On the way out, they do see big homies. And, well, not homies, but we see just a few of our kids and the homies. And basically, Periscope's like, Katakuri, come back to us. You'll be forgiven. Katakuri's like, oh, at this point, now I'm strong. No, I'm stronger than Mama. Why would I be under someone who I'm stronger than? There's no point in me joining the crew if I'm not going to be the head, if I'm the strongest. And Periscope says, wait, you're stronger than her now? Big Mom says, shut up, Pero. Yes, he is. He'll never be let back in to Topland. Katakuri says, I don't care. I have this ship. It's my home. They turn down walking away below deck. Before Big Mom can do anything, Yamato. Nami something threatens about with Zeus, saying, I can just use Zeus and sink you. It's not going to be hard. Pretty simple, actually. She also holds up Big Mom's favorite card, saying, I'll be looking forward to this light on fire and going out. She just smirks at Big Mom. Big Mom just scoffs, saying whatever. So, next up will be the man marked by flames, which is going to be an interesting saga, but it can be however he wants to go, depending on who it is. Gabon, Aokiji, Sabo, who cares? It just goes down being an arc, which I think is more informative than anything else, not much of a fighting arc. I can see it being more of like a very similar post-Wano arc than anything else, like kind of like fighting a poneglyph. Like, it's like at the most, obviously, it's like a Fishman Island arc. Like, it's a decently length arc, but it's not that important. At the best, all it is finding the road poneglyph near Vera, something like that. So yeah. Next up would be Elbaf, which is more now it's more like a training arc. So yeah. They'll spend time honing their abilities to the point where they all use advanced hockey. Then eventually they leave, and the Giants get to see, and like the Giants on LF to see an ancient giant. So yeah. So with this, we can go on forward again. Now, probably just to the race to Laughtail. So, yeah. Hold up for you to that. But next up is probably just the race to Lodestar, which probably isn't too hard. Or race to discover Lodestar. Yeah, they get there, then eventually, well, while they're leaving, they'll get some form of news somehow. Via, what was it? Yeah, sorry about that. I just want to turn my TV down all the way. I had a TV show in the background. Alright. But we basically just I'm done. We basically just go on to just Luffy finding out about Sabo, the whole thing, Sabo being accused of killing Cobra. And BV's like, well, I know Sabo, I've met him before. Because, well, basically, Pell flew around for a few years just for fun. And they've also met Sabo, because Sabo's the one keeping them at bay, just to keep training, encouraging them to. They've met Sabo. BV knows that Sabo isn't going to kill Cobra, so she knows it's already false. And Pell's not the kind to actually tell her, ma'am, just consider it. She's like, if you were to, she'd probably kill him herself, or Luffy would, one of the two. Or Ace, so one of the three. So yeah. Or Zoro, just because Luffy's mad, so. Yeah, a lot of people would kill Pell because Luffy's mad. Like, a few 30 people are on Luffy's side. Well, many are just kind of neutral, but tilt towards Luffy. So yeah. So we can probably go on now to just leaving Lodestar. And eventually they go to Laughtail now. They find it. If there's something as Blackbeard, leads to a war. Then eventually everyone that they need would come here. They fight, and they defeat Blackbeard's crew and heroic stay her away. And Perona would end up helping Zoro kill what was his name? Shiryu because he killed Absalom. So yeah. And they kind of do their thing, defeating Blackbeard's crew. They eventually go help Sabo, get the Marines off his back. As they send to the Marines by revealing Insama, killing Im-sama, whatever it is, and discover the voice entry, all that. This basically end the One Piece series with Luffy having the greatest crew ever. The Awakening was pretty cool, but it was good. Alright. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more. Adios.